Hello guys, welcome back, and here we go. We are going to be getting into our second semifinal, and I do believe that so many people are waiting for this next team to get on the board. But first things first, my name is Daks.
And my name is Vyminal.
And Mr. Vim, hey, we got a rebrand going on here. What is that? Beautiful logo I see. Look at that. Look at that logo. It looks so nice. It has a phantom in its hands. It has those
beautiful. That is a work of art. Work of art indeed.
That is a real pro team right there. And it is on the water versus have you guys heard of this team before? It's a something called Bren Esports. So guys, if you haven't heard the news, Mr. Bim, why don't you tell us the news? Give us a newscaster impression.
All right. So black and yellow. I don't know. Okay. Bren Esports, they have acquired their own Valorant team, and this is their debut. Ladies and gentlemen, some familiar names on the board here: Dispenser, Dubstep, Jesse Vash, Ching the God, and Borka. And admittedly, we've seen them play in different teams, right? But I've never actually seen the dynamism of them all together under one banner. And this is going to be really interesting. Quite a spectacle that we are expecting here, Mr. Daks. Very exciting for our viewers. But, yeah.
Yeah, and hey, on the water is no slouch whatsoever. This is actually a pretty strong team. If you look at it, we got Gabby Diz, Croissants, Exotic, Mr. Asura himself, and Shadi. Yes, we have our caster in to the semifinals. So shout out to Asura right there, joining into On the Water. And something to note about this, I've seen how Gabidiz and Chowdy have played before. They are oh so scary, but at the same time, Bren Esports is the former 5 squad before Valorant Esports squad, and it seems like they have gone full CS, and we see the reunion of these players. Funny fact that Borkum, he was Bren before in CS, and now he's Bren yet again in Valorant. So it is going to be interesting. Look at that stylized font though on the water side. It's part of their name, guys. That's why we're using a different font for it. But here we go. It's Haven, 3 sides of action. And Bren Esports, the heavy favorite, of course, after their history from 5 adroit and even means all the way back in the closed beta. But On the Water might be the X factor that can surprise anyone with the way how aggressively this team can play. And as right now, the old main himself gonna be setting up that smokes into the window, and we'll see what On the Water is all about. They're looking for a B side plant.
Wait, did I see that right? Is that Jesse Vash on the cipher?
Is that
or is he on the chat? Let me double check that later on. But yeah, it seems that early mid aggression is in play here for the side of On the Water.
We've seen this Sage's composition here from the side of 5. Well, Bren Esports now before. They did play it way back when in the Community Showdown, if I remember correctly. And as Borkum right now hopping on around, that is going to be, of course, that wall game broken. One tap C, though. Catches out Ching the God and Dispenser and Borkum coming together as one. This is how fast Bren Esports can play. And they get 3 with 1 fell swoop. Exotic, though, sticking onto the cubby right now. Dispenser even catching out Gabby Diz. And this is going to be Exotic pushing forward. Look how quick Bren Esports is here, and welcome guys to another year of Bren Esports dominance, because we start things off strong, we start things off in a black and yellow banner, and we see the grades
black
together as one. So can we get those names on the board? Can we get that scoreboard there from the prod side? Who is playing on what, Mr. Vim?
Absolutely, we are okay. So we see Jesse Vash on the cipher. This is very interesting, and Ching on that Sova. We got Dispenser on his Phoenix right there. And of course, Dubstep. We've known him to play a lot of Jet, so not a surprise there.
Yeah. And say it's something though. It's interesting enough since, of course, the new and improved Bren Esports have dropped both Jakama and Humi, who did play a really good part on their Intel game. People have to step on up, and Jesse Vash is playing the Cypher right now after they have gone, after their dearly departed Cypher main has gone to another setup. But here we go again. One tap C, keeping an eye out of that TP, making sure the Omen can get in position. Asteroid gonna be down below, but the Spencer and Croissant gonna be at least getting 1 apiece. Now the Marshall is in the hands of Ching the God, and Ching is looking oh so great here. Jesse Bash also with a stab. He just drops on down. He will get to with that ghost. There we go with the push. Work him with the cleanup. And Bren Esports playing a very, very mixed kind of, well, arsenal here in the second round. They first got the first round won, and they were having some Bulldogs, they were having some Marshals, interesting picks here from Bren Esports, trying to find out what kind of identity they do have. You're not going to get it because they can play anything they want and more and still be great at it.
Yep, absolutely. And looks like coming into round 3 here, they are sticking to their earlier guns. Look at this. Jesse Vash still on his Ghost. Might be saving for an operator, perhaps. We'll see. But here we might see a sort of a blitz, for lack of a better description. It's just we get to see Bren's new lineup just go all out. And again, on the water, a very competent team in themselves, but we get to see this is a very tough challenge in front of them.
Oh, Gabby Diz, though, this man has no fear. He loves to run into smoke, and that might be the X factor that the side of On The Water needs. One tap C, though, will go down. Dispenser right now backing on the way, using the hot hands to get the zone on. And something for him as well is he has that running back available, but it's up to Borkum right now. Mr. Reliable himself. He's looking to keep an eye out in the middle here and sees the stage, gets the first hog. Croissant will go down. This is going to be time for Bren Esports to go for the push, but it's Borkum in the meantime. Paranoia into play, but Exotic will tag down the Omen instead. So good defensive play here from the side of On The Water, but Bren Esports is also doing one better. They're playing the aggro right now. They get the tap onto Astrai, and Dispenser is, as you say, dispensing these bullets like Pez candies. So very easy for Bren Esports to play the aggro with their competition right now. Twin duelists between the Jet and the Phoenix is all about getting in their face and more.
I mean, obviously, guys, if you've been following the local Valorant scene, the underdog in this matchup is, of course, On The Water. And what we're seeing from Bren is precisely the reason why they've been top dog in the local Valorant scene for such a long time, right? Of course, we're seeing some new tactics here, you know, after the Ignition series, after a few of the big grassroots tournaments. They keep evolving, and they are never, ever complacent.
And you know, the thing about Bren Esports is they've made their dynamism from previous games, from past experiences, either on the same side or on the other. It really doesn't matter because they just know how each other plays. But Azurai, what a tap from in behind! Like we say, he's not just a caster, he is a man who is looking to ignite the scene with his play, with his Omen, but that is going to be the lead right now in order. It seems like On The Water expecting Bren Esports to contest the garage yet again, but no, Azurai deciding to TP over to the Radiant Knight on the backside instead. And that's the lineup on the Ching the God. He didn't expect Azurai gets 2. Borkum, though, in the meantime, cleaning up house. And here comes the Omen, but that's perfect flash. And okay, Gabby is missing those shots. Borkum will be able to get a kill instead. But in the meantime, that's going to be a penetration shot from the side. And On The Water making this eco work. Jesse Bash, though, on his signature operator. Unfortunately for him, though, it's not going to be easy tidings whatsoever. He's on the Cypher, sees no angles, and this might be On The Water's first round win.
Absolutely. Again, we have 1 operator, 3 targets. Definitely not an ideal situation unless you're a man like Jesse Bash. No. You know? Oh my god, that was so close.
Bash. He made it at a knife's edge, and that could have been Bren Esports taking that one unless On The Water peaks like that, and that they did. One tap C, getting in position, but you gotta give props there to Azurai, getting to out of nowhere. Perfect taps along the way. And for now, Bren Esports, they have to figure what kind of setup they do on it too. But okay.
Double operator coming in.
Oh, okay. This is it. We finally see dubstep on the operator. And this is a big deal because he is the best op player from CS in the Philippines. He's going to be bringing it here. And the ridiculous part is Ching is also going to have his own op. And we have Jesse Bash to place the op. So I wouldn't be surprised if this roster runs 3 to 5 ops as standard. That might be a thing. And then a map like Haven, it really feels like it's going to be so potent because of those long angles.
Absolutely. But yeah, again, can't really discount the sort of entry potential that Azurai is showing here. Let's see if we can make that happen again.
He's trying to, but he's in the flames, and he's going to go for the brawl, but no, Dispenser will win it out yet again. Still, though, it's Dubstep holding on to 8 loss. This does mean that this is a big contest here from On The Water. Unfortunately enough, that's a spike inside the garage, but here comes Croissant and 1 tap C getting back in position. Borkum, though, on the high ground, going to get tapped there in the head, and it's still going to be 1 tap C saying goodnight instead. Exotic, though, with the wall bang on. Shock darts getting thrown. Here we go with the stage, going for the flag, as B-side is opened up here by On The Water, but Ching the God, this man is pretty god oddly for a reason. Quick switch indeed with the Vandal in hand. It's a dragon in his hands. He's looking for the kill, but Gabby Diz turns into him, and it's now 1v2. Question is, can Dubstep get the clutch?
3v1 operator at hand. This might be the moment we've been waiting to see. Dubstep on that operator. Can he make it happen? Or is a quick switch in order there? Very tough post-plant situation here. He might just hold on to that op and sort of, try to go for exits.
Yeah, is this the debut of the Dubstep operator? Will he finally get that first blood he's been looking for on stream? And for now, though, he's backing on out. We'll be saving this monumental moment for a time he can get an ace clutch with it, perhaps. But for now, it's on the water again. The C-Tick looking pretty solid. They just run on in, they contest the garage, and they've been playing really, really well in that tight corridor.
Yeah, I really like what they're trying to do, sort of taking over a garage right there. And a very valiant defense coming in from Bren, but it's just, they keep pouring through garage. I mean, look at those three bodies, like 6 bodies rather, in garage, just in garage. So it just goes to show how much of a power position it is. And when you give it up, it's going to be really hard to sort of go for that retake.
Okay. But on the water, this is a team proving that they are not just puppies. They are a team looking to show on off. And we've been talking about this a lot here, Mr. Vim, in the scene. There's so many of these teams coming together as one, proving themselves to be, well, the grinders that are looking to play competitively. We have on the water right now. We have the likes of AG Nefaris, Samurais, as well as Kimura, as good examples of top teams right now coming together as one, coming from the community. But Bren Esports, again, established with their veteranship. They're established with whatever the hell they can do with their mechanics, with their knowledge. And for now, though, it's Dubstep holding on to the middle. A little bit of a congregation, though, here for the side of On The Water so far. If Garage has been working, then might as well do it again.
It's a very cheeky angle. Although his aim is a little bit too high up there. Doesn't get a pick off Gabby Diz.
Keeping an eye out. In the meantime, guys, don't forget we got some giveaways going on. We got the bunchies as well as the mouse pads, courtesy of Endgame Gear. We'll be announcing our first set of winners after this game, so stay tuned and stick around. If you see your name there, then you know that you have gotten some solid stuff, courtesy of Endgame Gear and Rotobox PH. But on the water, playing it smart. Over to A site they go. Jesse Bash, though, he's the one solo holding right now. And this is going to be a pretty interesting test here for Jesse Bash. Since Bren Esports have lost out on their Cypher and Sova players, this is what many are contesting in a way. Why change your roster if it has been working out so far? And Jesse Bash, he's going to be looking to prove to get those shots on. One tap C goes down to the Sheriff. Easy intel there from, well, that's Tripwire. Time for the post-plant.
How much value?
How much value? That's a lot of value. This will force Gabby Diz to use his utility just to heal up.
Absolutely. Now we see a bit of a lineup Molly right there.
There we go. Sonic and Dubstep gonna get one piece. Gabby Diz though gonna get back on the board. Underhand throw, but Dispenser is showing him how it's done. Phoenix difference in hand right now. Croissant though sticking around by a long, but for now there is just no vision. They're pinging that spike, trying to make sure that Croissant can have a chance to get the shot on, but that's the curveball already. And Croissant running on the way. Can Dispenser finish on up? Yes, he does. We'll be able to get that operator at the same time. And Bren Esports, okay, they're not going to take it actually, but Bren Esports gets one back. Sheriff gameplay there from Jesse Bash, silencing the others and making sure that he is able to play a hole that Bren Esports might have gotten in their new roster changes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to commend how well Jesse Bash played that out. Even with just a Sheriff, he got so much information out of those tripwires, and then he just, even though he knows he'll be smoked out of heaven, he can just play. He'll be happy to play through that, given the info of those tripwires. Very, very well played.
And you can see the lineups there. Sheriff in hand, but Dubstep, it's time! If he can get an amazing shot like this, that would be ridiculous, but it's time now from the Hunter's Fury and Sova of Bren Esports. Apparently catching out with Croissant and Dubstep finally bloodying his hands onto one tap C there. C-Long is nowhere to be, and this is why Bren Esports is a scary lineup, because no matter what, when you see that sniper rifle on the other side, that is just 9 times out of 10 that shot connecting onto your skull.
Absolutely. And for the past 2 rounds that On The Water has taken, it seems that Garage was the most successful take for them so far. Not really finding success over at C-Long and A-Long, but perhaps a mid-aggression.
Yeah, we've seen Money Aggression a while ago try to work out, but nope. Bren Esports says, okay, we saw the operator shot. That is our signal to play even better. And on the water now, looking to be threading into the deep end instead, because Bren Esports is happy with their preservers, happy with their setup, and doing a really good job so far at holding every single angle. Interesting enough, though, Vash is on a rifle so far. We haven't seen him play the operator too much except that one round. And it really feels like it's a whole change of the 5 philosophy here as we've got a new lineup under Bren Esports.
I mean, it is a new team with a couple of new players, so I wouldn't be surprised that, some new tactics coming into play and perhaps a bit of a role swap. And it appears that's what we're seeing here. Of course, we know Jesse Vash should be an operator, man, but he is pretty damn scared with that rifle.
Yeah, 1 taps for days, doesn't matter. All he needs to get is the lineup, and here we go again onto A site. Still, though, Borkum look to play aggression there in B, and he is keeping an eye out on Cubby. This should confirm that it's not in the middle. It's moved over to the side instead. Rotation is already in order here for Bren Esports. The Jet is in position. Dubstep looking for an angle. Asteroid, though, in the meantime, wanting to line up that paranoia. But it seems like it's not going to be in order whatsoever here, Bim. Slow here from On the Water.
I mean, they know they have that paranoia to evade, and they're not really going to be contesting A short up close. Really good anticipation there coming in from Dubstep and Jesse Vash. I'd just like to note that it is a very powerful position. Heaven is a very powerful position to control over at A side, of course. And, if you could sort of maintain visibility while being smoked off, then by all means, just stay up there.
And speaking of visibility, though, it is just unseen here in the middle. Dark cover to provide that coverage. And it looks like it's angling over to maybe B, maybe Garage, as Bren Esports is slowly but surely trying to figure out what On the Water is up to. Gabby Diz, though, he has the Sheriff in hand. He's looking for the tap. Paranoia right now. And it seems like for Bork, he's staying at reinforcements because the Spencer deciding, hey, it's time for the run back. He will get rid of Vassal right there. 12 seconds left on the Water. Has to execute right here, right now. And Gavin is out in front, lines it up onto the Spencer. But Ching the God, better gun, better gameplay. He has gotten 2 so far. Make that 3. Lineup is there. Crossfire is there. And Bren Esports with a pretty solid lead. 6-2 after 8 rounds.
Now, that's the thing when you're going for a B execute without without that barrier orb going off there. It's just pretty difficult to sort of get rid of that crossfire that would inevitably come into play, because you have Garage Link open, you have A Link open, and it's going to be really hard to defend that post plant. And I really do believe that a barrier orb is a bit of a game changer in trying to go for that B execute. I'd like to see that coming in from On the Water, maybe in next offensive effort.
Yeah, here we go again. Ching the God right now, holding close instead, and it does feel like those efforts are necessary here, Mr. Bim. It really feels that On the Water had a good idea a while ago. Bren Esports is a team that can adjust on the fly, so On the Water needs to do the same thing. They can't just sit on whatever plans they want, because we've seen the reinforcements here on C, on Garage, and doing all they can and more to hold the line. Borkum, though, actually catching out Croissant there through the mid doors. And for Bren, it's just taps again. 3 on the board here for Borkum. He's a one-man machine. He's a one-man army. He's looking to duel against his counterpart, and he's coming close, but Ching the God is there to save him stay. And Gabby is by the hay. He's saying, hey, good sir. Gonna be saying goodnight to 2. Really goes to show, though, there's still a chance here for the side of On the Water. If these curveballs will connect, the Spencer comes closer, and that is gonna be that. What aggression with those rifles. Bren Esports up by 5.
And this is pretty much typical of what we come to expect. Bren Esports forcing the opponent to play into their game, right? And we saw how sort of, On the Water is being forced to be playing very reactively as opposed to proactively. If you get what I mean, it's just that looking at the minimap, it's just they're sort of boxed in from all angles, and you don't want to be in that spot.
Exactly. It feels like it's a mouse and a labyrinth kind of situation, and the tighter it gets, the harder it gets, but that's the Dubstep explicits! And what a shot there! It doesn't matter, Dubstep can get the shot, and this is the expectations that we have really thrust on him the moment he said, I'm moving over, I'm taking my talents to Valorant, and moving into the Bren Esports lineups there, though Jesse Vash doesn't get the shot this time. Twin operators right now on both A-Long and A-Short, but Dubstep! This man is making music right now. A-Long is his symphony. And the Spencer catching out Asteroid. Gabby this, though, with a bit of peak. But here comes the Spencer again with a flank. And yet again, Bim, we're seeing it in action. Bren Esports with the news tightening against their opponents. Croissant now all alone.
You see what I mean here? It's just that the way they play, you are vulnerable from pretty much every angle conceivable on the map. And we see that time and time again from a lineup like Bren Esports. And it just goes to show, once they get a pulse on their enemy strategy, they know very, very well on how to play around it. So on the water, getting a couple rounds on the board, it was a short-lived momentum shift, right?
Yep. It just feels like mechanically on the water can really contest them, but Bren Esports playing it so tactically masterful that we are doing that chokehold that you're saying. It just feels like the map is getting smaller. It feels like we're not watching a tactical shooter, we're watching a BR where the zone, the circle, whatever you want to call it, it just feels like it's just getting closer and closer. And Borkum one tap C, gonna get one apiece, but dubs it right now through the smoke, doesn't care. This man can get any single shot that he can get at any single time. This is why the EA scene fears the man that is named Dubstep, because one tap C will get felled there. On the water though, good infiltration, but no sir, it doesn't matter if you're there, because that is going to be the neural theft, taking the position and telling the side of Bren Esports exactly where you are. The Spencer again with the flank. Here we go with the chokehold off the garage, and we see it yet again, Vim. It's the same situation. Exotic though, he does punish the whiff, but Dubs it cleans it up. But it is the same old storyline. Bren Esports, they just make the map even smaller every single time.
Yeah, and I just love to see it every time, and just goes to show how, you know, they sort of force their opponents to play into their game. And I really think in a game like Valorant, that's really what you want to achieve in a game like a tactical shooter. And you know, Daks, like, I haven't really been playing a lot of Valorant recently. But after seeing this sort of display of power by Bren Esports, I might actually be inspired to pick the game up again after this sort of break that I did.
Sabbatical. What is this, guys?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been playing a lot of different games, but very quick action.
I've seen a little bit of the horror right there, but you know what is the real horror is, again, on the water. It feels like they're getting choked even sooner, but this time they're punishing. That is what happens sometimes. If you're getting bullied, you fight back. It's gonna be the run back, though, immediately shut down by the Spencer. Hot hands to get the zone on, and it's Borkum right now in behind, looking for the pincer yet again, and they will be able to get rid of Gabby Diz. Now the Omen as well as the Reyna are all alone together. Doesn't make sense on paper, but it does mean that they are so isolated. It feels like even though they're together, it is gonna be a one-on-one setup. And the question here is, Bren Esports, they're looking for the flank. Can they get it? One tap Cedo opens it up against Jesse Vash, and finally this is on the water, getting the push that they need to work together. Army of two, gonna be an army of one thanks to the Reyna so far, and one tap C gonna be looking to find Borkum here, but Asarai caught out mid-transition. Proper flank by the C short angle here, and it's now platform versus garage. Question is, will the high ground be enough for on the water?
Can one tap C clutch it out against a man like Borkum? The answer is no, as Borkum, you know, just beautiful flank right there. A few push-ups.
Sides gonna get swapped. You know, the push-up game is strong. Bren Esports flexing their muscles. And in all honesty, I just want to go back to your point, getting back into Valorant. I've been grinding quite a lot, and I'm really excited for this Endgame gear partnership, because, well, if I'm gonna be able to get that Endgame gear mouse, I really feel like I'm be able to climb those charts, because I've been honestly struggling to find a proper mouse. My recent mouse just broke, so I've been looking for a replacement, and luckily I do have a few spares here and there, but it just doesn't feel right. And I do believe the XM1 is going to be a mouse that will feel right to so many of our players, especially to our grand champions. 5 of those given away alongside the Bungie mousepad combo, and having a Bungie, right, is just so useful, because I've been having wire management issues as well. It's getting so much drag that it's making my aim lad score even lower than usual. Hopefully, you know, Endgame gear as well as Roadhog P. Shout outs to you guys for sponsoring this whole event, making sure the Blitz series is a reality, and maybe you can make my dreams of getting unhard stuck on D1 a reality with your setup. But you know, it's all about getting good at the game, and Bren Esports is proving to us why they are the best in the local scene. One tap C right now by the CT side. Dispenser though keeping an eye out by the diagonal there, but no, Ching the God and Dispenser gonna get these kills, and Bren Esports is lining up and getting those takedowns. It's a ride. It's an amusement park that you line up for, and you just die one by one.
If I may make a very astute observation, Mr. Daks, it's just, you know, we've noted before that perhaps Team 5 formerly in their former lineups had sort of were notorious for having a bit of a slow start, like a slow burn, as you know, they dismantle their opponents time and time again. But now it seems like with this brand new roster, you know, they just get on the push the pedal to the metal right off the bat. You know, they don't slow down at any point in time in the match, and it's something quite fascinating that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and that might be the difference maker, especially in long haul series like best of threes, best of fives. They might need that start to make sure that they are not really bringing up their clutch game from the get go, because we see that time and time again there from adroit days, because it does feel like the opponent is always getting a good start, and they might even take a map away. But unfortunately, it's not happening this time for On The Water. If they were trying to back on that, because they're just dying very, very quickly. One tap C though comes close onto B side, gets rid of dubstep. Will be able to get that Spectre in hand, and it seems like though that the defense right now congregated in the middle. Spike though left behind. Bren Esports forgetting to play the objective as they were on the hunt, playing team deathmatch rather than anything else. And Borkham even spotting out Asarai. It's one tap C, the one in his name, showing he's on a solo mission. He's looking around, pops a Devar. Cypher Cage though has been popped by Bren.
And 3v1 situation, we have this chokehold sort of in order. Just a crossfire once again. There's really nothing one tap C can do at that moment.
You know what is going to be something though? Bren Esports is on something special. Match point right now for the attacking side. And I just gotta say, for On The Water, they're proving to be a team that has a lot of potential. One tap C, Gabby Diz, these two players are looking explosive. But sometimes when you face off against a Titan, you're just not ready. It's one of those games, it's one of those endgame games that you start at the end game, right? You start at the final boss, and then the game's like, joke's on you. You gotta go for your training arc first. You gotta make sure that you're ready for it. You can't beat this guy yet. And it feels like this is a situation here for On The Water. They're not ready as of yet. We've seen the potential from our hero's journey. We've seen how they can play mechanically. And the only thing they can do right now is to put another wrench in the plan of Bren Esports, because they have been read like a book and more. And they even have a bookmark for some of the later chapters. But Dispenser right now, with the curveball, Ching the God, also going to get 2-for-1 trade there onto Garage. Bren Esports is angling onto C side. Asarai playing aggression doesn't work out. And Bren right now is in a 4v1 slate.
Yep, and without a doubt, it's going to be a 13-2 scoreline unless Gabby Diz can pull off the most incredible clutch we've seen so far in the Blitz.
History can be made, and Gabby Diz, I've seen this guy can be explosive. He can do it. There you go. Those are the flicks we're looking for. Headshot will connect, but Jesse Bash will say, I got a dart on you. I got the shots on you, and he will give back to On The Water there. Bren Esports with a 13-2 scoreline. Dominant affair, but the takeaways there for On The Water is they have a lot of potential. They can play it well, and if they just find a little bit more on the tactic side, they can figure things out. But Bren Esports is a well-oiled machine, proven through the test of Valorant PH and the rest of the community.
Absolutely, and I just like to comment On The Water. Of course, we've seen perspectives from both sides. Despite this, a very decisive, dominant victory for the side of Bren Esports. I just like to say that mechanically, you know, we've seen On The Water do some really crazy shots in this match. And I'd like to see more of them in future tournaments, perhaps a bit of time to get a grasp of their synergy and strategy. And without a doubt, they will be a team to watch out for. But a really good analogy you made earlier, Daks, it's like fighting the raid boss. When a fresh raid drops in an MMO, right? Yeah. And then everyone goes in at like below power level, and then everyone just gets destroyed, and then you know, you grind a bit more and then come back and then you beat the raid, you know?
Yeah, and it just feels like it. It feels like it there, Vim. Level cap increase. Bren Esports getting even better, getting a big sponsor along the way, getting that black and yellow banner finally in the Valorant scene. And I got, you know, Bren Esports, it seems like it was the writing on the wall, right? They started things off with the Valorant Rising series with that Untitled first chapter for all the English speaking. I had to find that out on stream. I was like, what the hell is the tournament name? First chapter. Okay, so maybe second chapter soon. But Bren Esports is looking to go all in on Valorant, and getting the best team in the scene seems like the best way to go about it. I can only see dominance coming our way here from Bren Esports. And right now they have booked a date against CTNX in the grand finals. Question is though, will we see the upsets of the century? Will we see CTNX look for revenge after their runner-up slot last time in the Valorant PH tournaments and try to take one away from Bren Esports. That's going to be a BO3 though, but I really got to commend before we head on to break on the water. This is a team that has shown to be pretty popular in the community and pretty solid. I really see them winning out a number of matches here and there, and their journey ends here for the Blitz series, but it might have only gotten started in terms of the roster. So big commendations to them. A lot of things to prove with those 2-round wins, okay? Everyone expects to see Esports 13-0, easy win, but that is going to be that. So I think we're going to be heading on out for a break right there, Mr. Vim. But before that, so we have one special thing left. We do have those giveaways to announce, and
okay.
So so there you go. It's gonna be giveaway time. We're giving away 2 mouse pads and 2 bungees, courtesy though of Endgame gear as well as Rotobox P8. And it seems like we have 4 winners there, Mr. Bim. Who won our first sets of giveaways?
Give me a sec. So for the first winner, I believe we are. Do we have a graphic that's going to be shown on screen here?
I'm not too sure, but we do have.
Okay. We do have the list of names. Yes.
Okay.
For the first mousepad winner, we have Julie Ricario. For the second mousepad winner, we have John Carl. And for the winners of the 2 mouse bungees, we've got Ren Stanforth and Glenn Villanueva. So congratulations, guys.
Congratulations, guys. Pair of mouse pads to give away, pair of mouse bungees to win away. We had 4 winners there, and we still have 6 more to go. We still have 3 mouse pads and 3 bungees, courtesy of Endgame gear, of course, to be given away after the grand final. So you guys will want to check that one out. Tune on in to some high octane best of 3 action, because Mr. Vyminal, only one can win here in the Blitz series. And what does the grand champion get for winning the whole thing?
The grand champion gets 5 mouse pads, 5 mouse bungees, and 5 XM1 gaming mice. Right, this is an incredible prize package, and really, the endgame be all end all of gaming peripherals. You know me, I'm a really sort of enthusiast when it comes to gaming mice and peripherals, and I've heard a lot of great stuff about Endgame gear, just fitting of their moniker. And I can't wait even to get my own XM1.
You too.
Wait.
I can't wait as well.
Yeah.
But treasure trove truly given us by Endgame gear as well as Rotobox PH. So big shout outs to them. And of course, we'll be getting into that best of 3 grand finals action very, very soon. Who do you think, guys, will win? CTNX or Bren Esports? It seems like though we gotten 2 different performances from 2 different semifinals. So a lot of writing on the wall. We'll break that down a little later on in our pregame. But we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go on to our last break before we head over to the grand final. Stay tuned, stick around. This is the Blitz series, sponsored, of course, by Endgame Gear.